For accommodation listings, if you're looking at creating a new listing for an accommodation property, you will need to click the Add New Listing. If you currently have a pre-existing listing for your accommodation property and you want to update the information or add additional bookable rooms to this accommodation property, you can find this in your list of pre-existing listings on your dashboard and then click the corresponding Update button. For new accommodation listings, you will need to select the accommodation option in the category page. This will then create a blank listing for an accommodation property. Only one accommodation listing can be created per physical property. So if you have multiple bookable accommodation types on one singular property, you will only need to create one listing for this, and then you can add more additional accommodation types for that property within this listing. The South Australian Tourism Commission has provided a detailed guide on each of the sections, including a secondary guide on how to add these additional accommodation types. You will need to fill out all of the required fields as indicated in the top of the sections. For each section in the ATDW, there is a guidance and example on the right-hand side. As you complete these details, you can click out of the box. You'll see a green tick appear to indicate that your changes have been saved. Once you are happy with all of the information that is placed in the boxes, you can click the next button at the bottom of the screen and you'll be directed to the following section that is requiring completion. For accommodation type, you will need to select what type of accommodation best describes your product offering. You can select more than one if applicable. However, we only recommend a maximum of 2 to 3 is selected at any one time. As you navigate through all of these fields, you will see on the left-hand side of your screen an orange side menu. The stars will indicate any sections that are still requiring information to be filled out, whereas the ticks will indicate where information has been completed in fields. If there is neither a star or a tick next to these sections, it's because they are optional sections that are available to use if you have information available. Continue through all of these steps until you have completed all relevant fields for your company. Some sections that are available in the accommodation category include location, indicative prices, accessibility, photos, capacities, check-in and check-out times, internet access, if you have a star rating, property facilities available, any memberships, accreditations, and your social media accounts. Once you're happy with all of the fields you've completed, you can click the summary button in the top right-hand corner. This will direct you to an overview page with all of your information. From here, you can read over all of the information detailing your accommodation property and edit any fields by selecting the pencil icon. Once the accommodation listing is complete to the business's satisfaction, you can begin to add in information on any individually bookable accommodation sites or rooms. In the orange side menu, you'll see an Add Accommodation Type towards the bottom of these options. The first page that you will be directed to is what service type this information is on. So any individually bookable room or site must only be attributed to one type of accommodation. Similar to the steps that we've just went through, you will need to navigate through each individual step by selecting the next button and completing the fields available. And include information such as the capacity of number of guests that can stay in just one of these bookable rooms or sites. You can also add in any facilities that are available for this room or site too. You can again click the summary button and this will now direct you to a summary of just that individually bookable room or site. If you do want to navigate back to the original summary of your accommodation property, you will need to click the accommodation in the top left-hand corner and then click on the name and description. This will direct you to the property's name and description, and then you can select the summary button from there. And now you'll be back on your accommodation properties overview. If you now scroll to the bottom of this page, you will see that your individually bookable sites and rooms are now visible at the bottom of this overview. If you ever need to delete a room type or a site because it is no longer bookable, you can just click the trash can icon and confirm yes. However, if you are deleting a service type, you will need to copy and paste the information into your own filing system if you want to re-upload that at a later date, as the ATDW unfortunately does not keep these within the records. Additional functionalities that you can use on your ATDW accommodation listing does also include the deal and offer functionality. You can add a deal and offer for your entire accommodation property, or you can add a deal or offer for your individual room or site offering as well. To add it for the individual room or site, you'll just need to click on the name of the room or site that you are wanting to attribute it to, and then select the add a service deal/offer. Once satisfied with all the information you have entered into this accommodation listing, you can click the send for review button in the top right-hand corner.